Sune waiting for her cue there, just ready to go.
Practicing proper etiquette expected of us when traveling away from home, but when it comes to bringing Rover or Kitty along, do you know the proper etiquette?
I like that. Gayle Martz does. She's the president of Sherpa's pet trading company, I should say. And you've got a lot of tips for us, a lot of do's and don'ts for travel. But first off, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Sune is with me today to demonstrate the Sherpa tote around town. She's climbing inside so she can show you how she can breathe with the mesh panels. And this is a great way to take your pet wherever you go. So this is an around town bag, and she's very happy to be sitting in there.
Yes, it's completely comfortable. Now, does she put on a lot of miles traveling around?
We just came back from California, so Sherpa, my namesake for the company, came with me, and Sune, and they were in the officially approved soft-sided pet carrier, the Sherpa bag.
Well, you know your bags, you know your etiquette. Let's talk more about pet etiquette when people are traveling.
It's so important to have a low profile. That is the most important thing because it's a privilege when you're on the airlines to take a small pet with you. So you make a reservation for your pet. There's a small fee involved, and the pet goes underneath the seat in the aircraft cabin.
Well, let's talk about that. We have some do's and don'ts coming up for the folks, and we can take it from there. We're talking about familiarize your pet with travel. We'll
Most
talk about
important,
that.
Absolutely.
And the travel container.
Sure.
We're going to say check and follow all airline rules. That's for sure. We'll ask about that.
And one pet per passenger, so try not to bring like the 3 or the 4
Or
or
bring
the
a
5.
friend. Travel with a friend. It's very important. But it is so important to keep them in the bag underneath the seat for the flight.
And again, you want to feed them lightly beforehand so you don't have to worry about that during the trip.
Oh, no, it's very lightly.
No, because some people, I think, they're going on a long trip, therefore I better feed them big right now.
No, absolutely not. It's 4 hours before a flight, water 2 hours before a flight, and then during the flight, maybe an ice cube.
I'll tell you, Sune is not really very interested in what we have to
I
say
know.
already. It's taking
Not
a snooze.
stressed out at all. We should have her give a stress-free class.
It does relieve the stress
Now-
being in the bag.
Now, when you have the pet on the airplane, how do you make sure that if it's a dog, they don't start barking or anything like that while
I
the
think
trip
that's
is
the
going?
responsible pet owner. So we go back to familiarizing your pet with the bag so they're comfortable. It's a personal, their private den, and that's where they want to stay. So they are very safe in the bag underneath the seat in front of you.
We also have some don'ts which pertain more to travel in flight, I think, or on a
Well-
train. We're talking about don't use a tranquilizer. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yes, I think
Don't
so.
call attention to the pet, which you've mentioned already. Don't release the pet from the container in flight or in transit.
So important.
And never let the pet out in the terminal, where I think people probably think they're safe. So let's talk about just the top of that.
Well, what you should do is walk your pet before you arrive at the terminal. So they've done everything they need to do, and then keep them in the bag, in the terminal, and on the flight. And believe me, they're so happy and content to be there. It's their den. They're safe in that environment.
Let's talk about a tranquilizer.
That's not recommended, but again, we go back to the veterinarian because you must speak with them and find out if your pet indeed needs it. But what you will need is their shot record, which has to be within 7 to 10 days of traveling. So that's very important to take with you on an airplane trip.
Well, when we talk about containers for pets, these are really for small dogs.
Small dogs and cats.
Small dogs and cats, because the larger ones, that's
They're
a
not
whole
gonna
other
fit under the
category.
seat, right?
Right, and it's so hot with the weather we're having now, you cannot check the pets in cargo because it's above 75 degrees. So you will be, if it's a small pet, you can take it in cabin, you can drive, and it's very important to speak with the airlines before to find out what is happening with the temperature. But
Also, you were talking about rules and regulations with the airlines. They don't fudge on that. They're all a little bit different, so you really have to pay close attention.
absolutely, it's an airline policy. So you must make a reservation for the pet. There's a small fee involved, and then you're guaranteed that you can take your small pet, cat or dog, on board.
Yeah, we have a bunch of different bags. Do we have it
Yeah,
right
these
here
are
with
some of
us?
the other bags that you have with your
I
company.
kind of like this because it rolls,
Yeah,
which
that's a lot
has
easier,
some wheels on it.
especially in the terminal.
Yeah.
And
Sherpa on Wheels is wonderful. I used that coming back from California last week. It was great. When the flight canceled, I had to run to the other terminal. So there she was, being wheeled. It worked out wonderful.
Now, in there, I know that there's also you know, you put a pad in there. You can't just, a lot of people think, oh, I'll put a layer of newspapers and everything will be fine.
Well, you must have an absorbent liner when traveling with a pet. So the Sherpa on Wheels has a cozy trundle bed inside with the faux lambskin lining.
And one more thing, it's just, you mentioned it's a privilege to travel, so don't call attention to the pet.
Oh, it's
because
so important.
People cooing and making noise
Yeah.
over there, that's not the way to go.
The best pet on board is one that no one knows is there. It really is important to travel low profile, very important. And they're content. The requirement is, on board an airplane, the pet must be able to stand up and turn around in the bag, which is more than you can do in your seat.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
I hadn't thought about that.
No, it's true. But they're very happy underneath their seat, in the bag, in their personal den.
Okay, Gayle, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And once again, your dog's name is?
Sune.
Sune, thank you. I know Sune's dozing off
Yeah,
here.
she's
but
asleep. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's go.
And coming up next, no one has a stress-free life, so we're going to give you some no-nonsense tips that can put you into action.
That's right. Stick around. We'll be right back.